What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for joining me. Today we're going to talk about Sundial growers, also known as SNDL, and pretty much what the gamble is with them. And I wanted to make this video before the earnings report this Wednesday on the 17th. It's going to be St. Patrick's Day, ironically, is when the green talks about the green on the day of the green, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. But as a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I am just a guy on the internet, and I like to share my opinion from time to time. This is in no way financial advice, so always, always, always do your own research before making an investment. And while you're here, hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell, because that would be awesome. Anyways, enough of that. Here we go. So guys, Sundial growers, they have an earnings report coming up on Wednesday. It is currently Sunday, so it's going to be Wednesday the 17th of March, 2021. So if you're watching this video post that day, yeah, it's coming wet. So pretty much right now, the markets are waiting to see what their earnings are. Now, the Wall Street expectation is that they're going to be down over 50% year over year. And with something like this, I wanted to give my opinion on it because you have to understand that Wall Street looks at things on a yearly basis, right? And we're an investor channel, so we're not, I'm not looking at the 1 year. Maybe for some of my swing plays, but this isn't a swing play in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of catalysts that have to take place before SNDL actually blows up. And talking about revenue being down, year over year from 2020, is kind of unfair. And the reason being is because there's just a lot of uncertainty. The world's been beaten down pretty hard during the whole, what issue. So when it comes to the flower stocks, and, I'm going to use the word flower so we don't have any YouTube issues. I find that, Wall Street, they want to see instant returns. They want the money to come flowing in. And the truth of the fact is there's too many catalysts that have to take place before this is going to happen. And that's why when you're investing in these flower stocks, you have to realize that, they're not going to blow up immediately. Now, who knows? Tomorrow, the government may just say, hey, we're going to make it legal in all 50 states. We're tired of, beating around the bush. Everything's legal, it's all importable, and all of a sudden this stock becomes worth a ton more, right? Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. I mean, it's still possible. It's very unlikely, though. So, if you think about it, yeah, if they report earnings and they're down year over year, it's not the end of the world. This is a long-term investment, right? The flower stocks, I'm using the word flower again because of obvious reasons, but the flower stocks, they're not going to be something that a day trader is going to want to touch, in my opinion. So if you're in on these, buy the dips when you can, fill out your position, keep stacking. It's going to go up eventually. You just have to be patient, right? And it's like I always tell everybody, be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy, as Warren Buffett has always said. And the stock market, like he said also, it's a device to move money from the impatient to the patient. So if you think about it, yeah, at the end of the day, if we're patient enough to hold on and wait for these catalysts to pretty much go through, you're going to be rewarded pretty heavily. So let's talk about the catalysts. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the timetables that I have for these catalysts and what I think the weight will be. So first catalyst, the most important one, legalization in the United States, right? A nationwide legalization, because it's going to allow importing of these products. And when that happens, I would say it's probably going to be within about 2 years, because the Democrats know that there is an election, congressional election in 2 years, and they could lose their power at that point, which would make something like this hard to pass. So they're going to have a little bit of a rush on it. They're going to try to push it forward. There is always the question of whether Biden would sign it or not. We don't really know that yet. I know a lot of people are like, Biden's never going to sign it, but you never know. It really depends, guys. There's a lot of things that need to come into play here. So that's going to be the first catalyst, right? That's probably the most important of all the catalysts. Now, granted, there are other countries in the world where Sundial can, sell their flowers to customers And you don't need to worry about this market, right? But the United States is a very, very large market. It's right next door. And if they want to make the profits that we're going to need to see, we're going to have to wait for that to happen. That catalyst is going to have to happen. So that's the first one, right? Catalyst number 2. Sundial needs to capitalize on buying more smaller companies, in my opinion. And there were rumors of them buying, some U.S.-based companies, and none of that really panned out. But they do need to expand their operations, and get as big as possible, really. I mean, you want to be able to pump out your product as much as possible and get it to as many people as possible to become a successful business. Now, they have a lot of cash on hand, which kind of bothers me. I've been a big proponent on that, and I think that what we'll need them to do is start spending some cash, right? We need them to stop being so scared and start spending some of this cash on acquiring assets, because assets are going to allow them to grow. And this is what successful businesses do. They take that cash, they reinvest it, and they do it smart. And I think if we don't start seeing that as investors, we're going to have to voice our opinions on that, because that's going to be another huge catalyst, right? We're not a dividend company, okay? We just need to concentrate on growth at this point, and we're still doing that. So as far as catalysts go, guys, those are going to be the 2 big ones. There may be some other ones along the way, but really we got to concentrate on 2 things. Number 1, getting into the United States market, and number 2, expanding the business out. We've got too much free cash to not be expanding this business and gaining more traction, right? So I think if we keep an eye out for those 2 things, my time scale is, like I said, probably within 2 years. If the Democrats really want to rush this thing, they're going to have to do it as quick as possible, and that means they're going to have to do it within 2 years to not risk losing power to actually do this. Because there was a little bit of a scare for them the last election. They lost 12 seats in the House, so it's not unlikely that they could potentially lose power in the House, right? So these are things to think about. I always look to the future. And yeah, you look, it was 142. So yeah, guys, always look to the future. We're investors here, guys. We have to keep our patience, because patience rewards those who have the most of it. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and head out. I hope everyone's having an amazing day. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, hit those comments, tell me what you're thinking, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.